Remember when we sat here and said, what's all this stuff about liberal tears? Do you remember once it became clear that you were going to be worse off, there wasn't going to be any money for the NHS, you were quite possibly going to lose your job, factories were going to close, companies were going to leave, the cards were not held by us, they were held by them. The German car industry wasn't going to come galloping to our rescue. Leaving the European Union wasn't going to deliver a single measurable benefit to your life, but it was going to rain down unpleasantness and avoidable misery like it was going out of fashion. And we sat here years ago now together, you and me, and we said, what's all this stuff about liberal tears? I mean, I'd get it on social media all the time, the effort that people used to put into photoshopping stuff. And I used to sit here and stare at it thinking, what am I missing here? What is the message here? And of course the message was, nothing's going to get better in my life. In fact, it's probably going to get worse. But I'm already miserable and morally bankrupt. So my pleasure comes from your pain. And that's how a country ends up imposing economic sanctions on itself and celebrating the abolition of freedoms enjoyed by its own citizens. Let's say that again. Celebrating imposing economic sanctions on itself and celebrating the abolition of freedoms enjoyed by its own citizens. That's Brexit Britain. And it's, I think, unique. Certainly democratically, dictators might have been able to inflict this sort of nightmare on a population, but democratically, in a proper democracy, or a functioning democracy at least, the idea that you would celebrate imposing economic sanctions upon your own island while also cheering the abolition of your own freedoms is objectively incredible, isn't it? I think it's 11:14. We'll take a little moment just to reflect upon what an astonishing political achievement that is. And it is, of course, one that leads inevitably to the Durham doorway of Dominic Cummings. What is the achievement here? Well, we've persuaded people to celebrate the abolition of their own freedoms and the imposition of economic sanctions on their own country. Well, that's a fairly big couple of weights that go on that side of the scale. What's on the plus side? What is the thing that actually makes it all worthwhile? Well, people like James O'Brien and Gary Lineker aren't very happy about it. Is that really all you've got now? And you're cross with me rather than the people that did this to you and your children's future and your grandchildren's? Okay, fair enough.